Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Arya back again. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the Spec Ops mode in Modern Warfare. A while ago, I made a video talking about the survival mode in Modern Warfare, and I extensively talked about how big of a disappointment it was compared to its predecessor. Now, I'm going to give you a fair warning. This video is going to be very similar to that video, but with more negatives to talk about because Spec Ops is so much worse than survival. Spec Ops in Modern Warfare 3 consisted of short linear missions, most of which had been ripped straight from the campaign. It was a nice little side game mode. The missions were very short, but that was kind of the point. They were short, but they never felt lackluster or underwhelming. They basically cut out all the fat out of those missions and only gave you the good stuff. They were action-packed, and every second of every mission felt important. A small mistake could cost you the mission, but since the missions were short, when you had to start over, it didn't make you want to kill yourself. They were also much easier to do, but the challenge wasn't so much in beating the mission itself, it was about beating the mission in a timely manner so you could earn those sweet stars. It was all about that speed run, so you played those missions over and over again so you could get the perfect run, and when you finally did get the perfect run, it was a great feeling and you could look back and say with absolute certainty that it was worth it. Now let's look at the new Spec Ops mode in Modern Warfare. First of all, now we have two different kinds of Spec Ops modes. We have the classic Special Ops and we have Special Operations. Let's talk about the classic Special Ops for a minute. There's nothing classic about them. They barely resemble the old Spec Ops in Modern Warfare 3. Maybe they intended for them to be like the ones in Modern Warfare 3, but they're not, and I think that's probably because of how difficult these missions are. You still have your old star system for finishing the missions, but they're impossible to finish on solo and they're very difficult to finish in a public lobby, and oh, by the way, there's no split screen for any of the co-op modes in Modern Warfare. This so-called classic Spec Ops is a total downgrade from the original Spec Ops mode. The enemies in this game have godlike accuracy, so if there is an enemy out there, chances are you're gonna get shot. And this game is not like Modern Warfare 3 at all. You can't take as many shots as you used to. Your health seems to have been nerfed, so you can only take a few shots before you meet the sweet release of death. That combined with the ridiculous spawn rate of these enemies makes this game mode quite unbearable. Now let's move on to the Special Operations. If you thought classic Spec Ops was bad, you haven't seen shit. Special Operations are the cherry on top. They are linear missions with multiple objectives, most of which are extremely boring. You cannot play them on solo. As a matter of fact, the only way to play them is online, and unless you have a full party of elite Call of Duty players, there's really no way you're gonna complete these missions. These operations are a complete clusterfuck of endless wave of enemies with godlike accuracy spawning in from every single direction non-stop. To the people who developed this game mode, I just have one question to ask. Who the fuck do you think we are? What made you think we could get through these missions? And most importantly, what made you think that it would be fun? These missions at a certain point become so unbearably difficult that they just stop being fun. Endless wave of enemies and bombers and juggernauts, assholes with RPGs, assholes that blow up, choppers, more juggernauts, more assholes that blow up, and round it fucking goes. At some point, shooting and killing enemies just seems pointless because the second you kill one, 3 more are gonna spawn in right after. There are a few differences between Special Operations and classic Spec Ops. One is that you can play classic Spec Ops on solo, but you cannot do that with Special Operations. 2 is that on classic Spec Ops, there is no respawning. After you die, you basically have to lay there like the useless piece of shit that you are, waiting for your useless piece of shit teammates to revive you. On Special Operations, however, you parachute back into the map after about 1 minute. But the most important difference, and the only one that actually counts, is scale. Special Operations are much larger in scale. The maps are so much bigger, the objectives are further away from each other, and there are vehicles. But that's kind of the reason why it doesn't really work as a game mode. You have these gigantic maps and only 4 players, and you have to run through these streets being exposed to enemies from so many different directions. And the AI having really good accuracy makes it so much more difficult just to get through the first objective. And since you have to play with randoms a lot, they tend to run off and do their own thing, and they eventually go down, and since they're so far away, you can't revive them. So they quit, and sometimes that ends the game. For those of you who play COD Zombies, you're gonna understand this because this game mode suffers from the same problem as Transit. The map was too big and too linear, and because of that, every time anyone went down, you couldn't revive them and they would quit the game. That's exactly what made that map hard to play in public matches. But at least on Black Ops 2, you had a choice. You could just play the map on solo. But here in Modern Warfare, you don't have an option. You have to play with randoms, otherwise you cannot play at all. While the survival mode in Modern Warfare suffers from a lot of small issues, the Spec Ops mode suffers from a few big issues. And the devs could easily fix them if they weren't trying to jump on the Battle Royale bandwagon a year too late. And speaking of Battle Royale, these special operation maps, they're just test maps for the new Battle Royale game mode. And what bothers me is that they could easily fix this game mode with a couple of changes. First, you have to fix the spawn rate of these enemies. There are simply too many of them at one time. Then nerf their accuracy, buff the player's health, and I would say you're going in the right direction. But this game has been out for 3 months, and Spec Ops is still just as terrible as it was on launch. If you're gonna make something that's an afterthought, then why make it at all? Is it because Treyarch has zombies and now Infinity Ward has to have their own co-op mode? Because if you're gonna have Battle Royale, then why have a co-op mode? It makes no sense. I just hope somewhere down the line the devs can take a closer look at this game mode, realize its potential, and work on it to make it better, because I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't feel like it has the potential to become something really good. But that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the new Spec Ops mode in Modern Warfare. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.